Yeah, he's just a really strong player all around, and someone who is definitely my impact player of the match here. And I think he will cause a lot of impact throughout the entire match and causing, more points on the board. I expect him to score very high in this match in particular due to the fact that he's a really solid player, as you said, one of the best in the game, and he's just really unstoppable. When he gets to the front, he can really run, but of course, both these teams have to keep in mind that shock factor, and that could ruin, I would think, Astre's chances. But it seems to me that just Astre as a whole is just really, really a really good player. So you always have to keep that back in your mind, as you said.
Absolutely, and even with Astre being the main anchor for Switzerland, we have Brazil on the other end, and Brazil has a really interesting storyline coming into this matchup. We are actually going to get started. We are watching the man, the myth, the legend himself, Astre today. But I do quickly want to cover Brazil before we get into this matchup. Brazil, having a very interesting selection process for their team this year. A lot of these players are pretty new to the game. This lineup, Tanuke, Carlos F. Blackie, and Rafeo, again, another name that I'm probably going to botch, but Tanuke and Blackie being very prominent players, and Carlos as well, from Brazilian Racer Zone, which was a very strong team at the beginning of the game, kind of fell into inactivity at the end of 2020, but seeing a lot of them back, a lot of old names coming back for this World Cup is great to see. But getting right into this matchup, starting on Sunset Wilds, very fun running track, um, very, very. Speaking is hard. A lot of shortcuts, a lot of catch-up potential. Astre opting, and a lot of Switzerland players actually opting for the triple shroom character, and it won't even matter. Astre pulling a star in fourth on the last set. Oh, but a bomb snipe coming off the cannon, or the glider. Great play from Brazil.
Yeah, it was just really unfortunate there for the bomb to come out. But there, of course, there is still some time to catch up. Pulling another star here is very huge, in fact, because
Yeah, another star.
yeah, it will be very important, I would think, for Ashe just to hold on to this star a little bit longer until the end, just to get some more spots up. Because at the moment, Brazil is top 3, so they do have to keep that in mind going into the last corner. Decides to chain, and there's a blue shell coming
Blue
in the
shell,
front. Pulls
another star for Astre.
Wow,
No
that's
way.
gonna
We
be an
may be
auto
seeing
first
some
for sure.
hacks in our room today. Astre gonna star right into the line. 3 stars in the span of, I believe, 4 item sets. What amazing pulls for Astre. That's gonna put 1-3-4 on top of that. Shock not even necessary with pulls like that. Great stuff from Astre.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how many stars he pulled, because he was more up towards the front in like half of them. So that was probably the biggest luck I've ever seen in terms of pulling like 3 stars in a row and like top like I think like 4 or 3. So yeah, really impressive stuff. Just luck is a huge factor in this game, though. You gotta always keep luck in mind. But yeah, I was personally really impressed how easy they caught up there, considering Brazil was top 3, I think, going into the last lap, and they managed to get a 1-3-4 out of it. So good job from Switzerland for making that back and getting a solid race out of it.
Yeah, worth noting that stars in fourth, weren't possible even recently until an update. Many updates have been happening recently to MKT's multiplayer, and one thing that players have to adapt to is the changing item system that seems to keep flipping over and over again. Stars in fourth, one of those changes recently, as well as shrooms in first, and we'll be seeing more pulls like that later on in this match for sure. Astre getting hit out quite early with a green snipe. He'll see if he can pull another star or 2 back here in the sixth place position. Brazil looking really strong in the front already. And yep, there we go. Star in 6th again for Astre, but Brazil with these top spots, and Brazil in last as well, winning out on that bagging battle. Even with all these incredible items from Astre, it may not matter without Shock.
Yeah, Shock's gonna have to be a key impact here in order to for Switzerland to get back to the top here, but it's still very much possible because of the fact that one of Switzerland members keeps getting the first, maybe 2-3-5 possibly if he gets the pass here, but yeah, definitely not the if this ends up being a 2-3-5, definitely not terrible, I'd say. Going a Mega though, that's big, so we might get
And all of
big.
Brazil seems to have been taken out one by one. That's going to give Switzerland a top 2-4 again. Wow, great stuff from Switzerland. It was looking really good going into lap 2, but one by one, Switzerland taking care of those Brazil members in the front. And that leads them to another winning race, taking a very convincing early lead.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what happened there in particular to get all the members hit out like at the same time. They were 2-3, and someone must have pulled double reds or something, because that's just really unfortunate. If you're Brazil, that's just really unfortunate, and not much you can do if the other team pulls double reds, especially in 2-3 and with no help. So if you're Brazil, definitely want to make adjustments here. Probably try to go for Shock a little bit more, especially on this track. It's probably good to go for Shock, as there are literally no shortcuts. So yeah, you always gotta keep that in mind. And Shock, if you're Switzerland, go for it too. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working out, especially lap 2 antics. So you always gotta keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, the R version of Armix Rainbow Road 2, a very, very one of the more run-heavy versions of this track. The only way I've seen, but we have seen insane plays on this track. Astre getting hit out early yet again. That's another hit down to 6th. We've seen this every race so far, but Astre has done a really good job catching up. We'll see if he can do the same thing again. But one thing I do want to mention as well, ruining top spots on this track is not the easiest thing to do. Ooh, that bomb's gonna fly right over them. That would have been a 6 snipe. But we have seen plays like throwing reds at players to target them off of these tiny ramps in between the ramp and the mushroom. We've seen plays like that already this World Cup. Maybe we'll see Astre or any other member here pull off a play like that. You see a red in 3rd from a Brazil member, but the blue shell, that's going to be huge. That's going to help hold on to first place for the moment. But with 2-3 being, yep, we see red in 2nd as well from Brazil. That's going to end. Oh, okay, there goes the blue shell. Great play from Brazil to get rid of that, because now, yep. Ooh. I'm not sure what happened to that 3rd place player. It looks like Tanuke dropped for him to red at 1st place, but he got hit out himself. We'll see if Tanuke can pull off something miraculous. And speaking of miraculous, Astre getting hit on the line by what appeared to be nothing. I'm not sure what happened there. 2-3-4 for Brazil.
Yeah, it just seemed like he got hit like really far away, because he was like that's what you call lag trails in this game, and he was far enough away, but he still got hit, which is really unfortunate to cause a 1-5-6-7 there, and that's going to definitely be a winning race for Brazil. Definitely what they needed, even though it's a +1. I think it's still okay, you know, it's not like terrible. They have time to make it back and catch up here, but if you're Brazil, just try to get them out of first. Get Switzerland out of first. That's the big thing, because right now I don't see Brazil really getting them out of first, so they always, I think that's really important going into these next few races, especially coming up towards the halfway mark in the field, so.
Yeah, I think Brazil were attempting to make that play onto first. We saw Tanuke attempt to drop for, I'm guessing it was Carlos, to throw that red at 1st place, but getting hit out himself didn't really help the situation there. So we see that Brazil is capable of making these types of plays, but just not executing correctly in that particular scenario. Heading to Paris 3 now, and a good start again for, yep, another early hit for Astre, getting taken out swiftly yet again. Astre's been playing the catch-up game so many races in this event. Another blue shell for Astre.
Wow.
This time Brazil in first. He's going to want to throw that shortly. He may have to throw it after the set, actually. I think that's a better idea. Yeah, going to chain that blue shell. That will connect onto one of Brazil's members, but still, 135 for Brazil. This bomb, he'll have to be careful. No, it's going to lag away. So, Brazil looking good for now. It doesn't seem like second place has pressure. Another bomb and third for Tanuke. Astre's gonna have to be super careful. Yeah, getting lagged away again, and there goes Tanuke. Great play from Astre. All they have left now is to take out first. And they've done it. Great red from Swirls. Shock coming in, but it's not going to do much. Already too close to the line. Top 2-4, and 6 even for Arnaut. Catching. Oh, maybe not. 7th place for Arnaut. Great race.
Yeah, that was just a really strong race there. I don't think, as you said, the shock didn't really matter come into play, and they were able to swiftly take out the top spots for Brazil rather quickly, and that was a good play by all of Switzerland there, and definitely impressive stuff. And its item play is so key; it's so important in this game, and you always got to keep item play in mind, and you got to be aware of where your teammates are, where the other team is. It's just so important, and have to plays like that is just. It's just really good plays. Just really good plays overall from Switzerland and a solid race. And definitely going to extend their lead, getting a plus 11 there. So really good from Switzerland.
Yeah, that was looking really nice for Brazil, but falling apart so quickly there. 2 lag bombs being activated from Tanuke that allowed Astre to take him out. Pretty unfortunate on Tanuke's end. I don't think there was much control he had over that. But regardless, heading into Waluigi Pinball RT, the only Waluigi Pinball variant in this tour, and Astre getting a great pull on his first set. Shroom first. He's looking great right off the bat. Shroom as well for Swirls. That's a very close green attempt from Brazil, but yeah, Brazil needs to take care of this quickly, or top 2 are just going to run away.
Yeah, definitely. And if they want to make something up here, then I would think that... Oh, getting the red off, though, that is still very important because it made him fall off.
Great play from Carlos, yeah.
However, still 1-3-4, so he didn't actually lose that many spots. It could have been a lot worse, I think. But if Astre manages to hit Carlos here, then that would be really key because I think that would get him to the top 3 here. But right now, Carlos looking like he's having a red, so you always got to keep that in mind as well. Oh, unfortunately gets lag trail.
Nice, and wow, Carlos connects that round to Swirls. It seemed he had double coins. That puts Carlos into a great position in first place, but still 2-3-4 for Switzerland. He could be dealt with very quickly when Astre chains his heart on the next set. And oh, but okay, we see Brazil member coming up into third now. Astre's now going to have to think about playing conservatively. He has 1 red shell to work with and a heart. We'll see if oh, but it doesn't matter. Shock for Arnaut. That's going to dodge Astre in first place. And yeah, Carlos is going to get shocked after boxes. This looks like a top 3. Textbook shock play from Switzerland there.
Yeah, that was just a solid shock overall from Switzerland. As I said earlier, shock is such a key important factor playing in a Mario Kart Tour. So definitely good on Switzerland there to get the shock and use it really effectively there due to the fact that it helped them a lot. Get them top 3 and getting another good race and can extend their lead a lot. So this is going to be incredibly difficult, I would think, for Brazil to come back based off what has Switzerland been able to do and what they're probably going to continue to do throughout these next couple of races. You always, if you're Brazil, you always got to keep in mind shock. And you have to find some way, some possible way to deal with shock. Because right now it is not working for them and they're just having a tough time, and just in general.
A 41-point lead after 5 races for Switzerland. That is just an insane amount. Again, that's 3 top 3s with the bagger just a stomp right now for Switzerland. Brazil are going to have to adapt very quickly to this. It really is coming down to, and we've seen Brazil making early pack play. We've seen Astre getting hit out at the beginning of races several times, but catch-up potential is always there for Switzerland with that shock either secured or just not being pulled. So Brazil going to have to make a better effort in the back. And Calamari 2T, again, Astra getting hit out early, and this is one of those tracks where it's almost impossible to make a comeback without shock. Another Switzerland member hitting a banana, 2-3-4. This first place should be dealt with very quickly by Brazil. And already, yep, there it is. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, position. Oh, okay, it looks... Okay, too much position switching going on. It looks like it's very close in that top 3 battle. And green shell coming up. That might have connected onto one of Blackie's hearts, I'm not certain, but first place holding out again for now. And there goes Astre again to a late hit. He has these triple shrooms to recover, but will that be enough going over this ramp? It might be, actually. He'll opt to use the shrooms off the ramp. That's a really nice play. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that's a Brazil shock. That is a Brazil shock. That's exactly what they needed. Looking like one... Yep, 1-3-4.
Yeah, that's basically going to reverse the last race from Switzerland in some impact. And definitely the first huge winning race coming in from Brazil. And definitely going to make it a little bit closer. +5, pretty good in terms of the amount gain from that. Not really terrible, but I'm not... Yeah, that was still a solid race from Brazil, and definitely going to lower the gap a little bit. But they still got time. They still got a lot of points to make up, my friend. They still have a lot of points to make up if they want to make this back. So they're going to have to play like that in order to make this back. And especially going back to Rainbow Road RMX, I think it's going to be really difficult still.
But it is the start they need. I really like how they waited on that shock. There was no need to use it any earlier than that with no dodges up front. All they did was shock Astre in the cut after using his triple shrooms. It was really well played. And, you know, thinking, could that have even been a bigger opportunity if first place had been taken care of? You know, sometimes protection from first or lack of reds from second place, it really has an impact on the race. And both Aeronaut and Astre getting hit out early this time. Astre cannot catch a break on these early green shell hits from Brazil. But another star. However, Brazil far in last, as I don't think Aeronaut bothered with bagging. Yeah, I'm gonna chain it right away. As Astre knows, there's really no point in holding my dodges for the moment. Top 3 even for Brazil right now. This is looking really good. Again, very few boxes on this track. It's going to take a while for Brazil or Switzerland to even pull it, but Astre doesn't have an answer to this top 3 at the moment. No items. He has this bomb. He can make a huge play with this bomb. It's going to be difficult, though. This horn as well from Carlos. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't horn the blue shell. Bomb goes up. Not going to connect. Only 1 red for Astre. That's not going to be enough. He can secure second, but this is another huge race for Brazil. Yeah, Brazil having shocked the whole time. No need to use that, as they had front presence the entire race. Great stuff.
Yeah, the exact same race as last time. Another +5. I'm going to put him within 31 points. So, really solid race again from Brazil. It was the same exact race as last time, so good on them and good on Brazil. And keep on making adjustments, and small race wins is key to make some sort of comeback. So good from Brazil there to just get a solid race in the middle of this war after 7. So it'll be important these last, I believe, 5 races, just to make certain adjustments if you're Brazil. Just some +13s, maybe some, you know, some plus, I don't know, just top 3-7. It'd be important to get that, especially now. I'm not really sure what Brazil needs to do besides just get winning races. I think they are making adjustments now in set in stone, and I think at the moment there's definitely still a chance they can make this adjustment and they can win the war.
It's still a very tall mountain to climb, but Brazil are doing it little by little here these past few races. And another huge track to assist them in that comeback, Donut Plains 2T. We'll have to see what Brazil can offer for us on this track. Early lead, early front presence for Brazil. Astre floating a little bit on that mole trick, but this, look at all the Brazil members back there. They have a huge potential to get shock and many dodges. Many dodges. This could be a really nice for Brazil. Yeah, Switzerland getting into last, but could it be too late? Arnott with this horn in first. Yeah, it was too late. Very much too late. Brazil shock, absolutely. That's top two. That almost has to be confirmed. There's very little answer that Switzerland's going to have for that. Shrooms as well for the other Brazil members. This is looking so strong right now.
Yeah, they're playing this really well. And definitely a much-needed race again. Ooh, getting the star off though, but
draft. Yeah, that's a clutch
matter.
star and a clutch draft for Astre. Saves a little bit of that race for them.
5-7. I think it will. It'll still. Yeah, it'll be a +9 there. So now it's only going to be 22 points, and coming up and after this last GP for Brazil, they can do it. They are making a comeback. They've gained 19 races throughout the last 3 races. So those 19 points, if they keep on doing this, if they keep having the same exact races as last time, they'll be down 3 going into the last race, and if they just get another +5 to win it. So if Brazil wants to end up winning the war, because what they're already doing is so impressive, all they have to do is just keep on doing what they're doing at this point. Keep on pulling shock, because shock is so important. 19 points. I meant points, yeah.
See, well, I do think Brazil had potential to play that shock a little bit better. They confirmed top 2. There was almost no way that top 2 was going to be lost using the shock there, and that's really, top 2 is so huge. Again, considering those are the only 2 positions where there's a 2-point gap between the points earned from top 2 and the position below it. So securing those positions is almost always a race win, and a big race win at that. So great from Brazil to just read into that, if we can get top 2 here easily, and that's all we need for a winning race. But heading over to Sunset Wilds are looking really nice for Astre right now, pulling ahead early. Hasn't seen much of the action anywhere around him so far, but we'll have to see. And yet again, a Brazil shock. They are adapting so well to Switzerland's play. Now, Astre has a pretty ginormous lead. I don't think he's going to be caught up to before the set, but 2-3 for Brazil. They can throw double reds right away. 1 protection for Astre. Is it going to be enough? It looks like it. Yeah, only 1 red for second place from Brazil, but that's still a 2-3-4.
2-3-4 is a winning race there, and good from Brazil again. The shocks are so important for them, and just getting a winning race, even if it's not a big winning race, again, it's just so solid. And yeah, getting a +1, still good, because of the fact that Brazil was mostly in the top half of the spots going into lap 2. I think it was good for Brazil, just the shock there. So good job from Brazil, just to catch up there, just in general.
Over the last 4 races, Brazil have cut Switzerland's lead basically in half. And with 3 races left, they're going to have to ramp up the pace just a little bit in order to take this into their hands. Only -21, a lot better than what it was looking like a few races ago, but they need 1 huge race, +11, +13, in order to make this plausible for them. Heading into Armex Rainbow Road now, and Brazil's for Brazil. Switzerland starting in first. Astre yet again. Pulling a red first set, that's super strong. If Brazil tries to make any sort of run up to the front, it's not going to be possible. Dropping even to get the red off on Tanuke. I think that connects, so great stuff from Astre. Great reading into that. Yep, dropping again. I think that connects. It's a little laggy, but that does connect. Astre reading into these situations behind him very well in order to get these reds off. Exactly what they need. Really, it looks like a race. Another shock from Brazil. That's what, 4 or 5 in a row for them? That's so crazy. Yeah, starring into first, Blackie coming up. But is that going to be enough? Astre pulling double reds right away. He could deal with this very swiftly. We'll have to see right here. Oh no, opting to hold one. Interesting play. Allowing Blackie to... Yeah, he only has 1 protection for sure now, but... Okay. Teammate throwing a red forward at Astre, it looks like. I'm not sure what that's about. Blackie could hold first because of that misplay. Yeah, no reds for Astre. That's going to cost them the race win.
Yeah, I was wondering why he didn't throw both reds. He could have easily taken first. I really don't understand that play at all, and I think that's going to actually be a winning race again for Brazil because of that misplay. That is so strange to me. I would have never expected that. But however, they are still going to be in the lead here, but it will be a lot closer. Another +1, so they definitely, if you're Brazil, you need bigger races at this point. Getting +1s are good, but I think the fact of the matter is it's so important to just keep in mind that getting winning races is just not enough anymore. You need bigger races to end up winning the war. So I would think that getting a top 3-7 would definitely help a little bit, but I think to win the war, I think they need to get a plus. I think they just need to get a bigger winning race to have a plausible chance here.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, only a +1. Now, this has turned from 21 points to make up in 3 to 20 points to make up in 2. And yeah, this is looking dire now. If I were Brazil, I wouldn't be so sure about lagging. They need a huge race here. Brazil, Astre gonna drive into the cut. That snipe off the cut is gonna connect onto Blackie. That's a huge play from Astre. Great snipe, and that leaves just Carlos up here. And Tanuke. Okay, Tanuke's here too. But 1-3-4 for Brazil, or Switzerland off that snipe. Okay, Tanuke getting hit, but Astre as well. Great trade, I would say, for Brazil, and just like that, they're already back up in first.
Yeah, and getting first is so important going into this last lap here. And pulling a blue shell though, opting to use it immediately, and Astre getting that blue shell off, and that will definitely help Switzerland a lot, getting into top 2 going into this last lap, and definitely they might be able to even take the shortcut. But if you're Switzerland, you have to keep in mind that they may pull shrooms. This Astre does pull double shrooms here, so we can take the shortcut. But I'm not really necessarily sure if he can hold this. I'd say if Switzerland can hold.
Looking like Loidemat gets hit, but I don't know if that's going to matter. 1-3-4, 1-2-4 even for Switzerland all of a sudden. It looks like both of them managed to take cut in top 2. Swirl's having a horn. He has to chain it. He can't risk getting hit by any sort of red shell. There he goes. But no, this isn't enough. Okay, shock for Brazil. No, Astre's going to get first. That's going to be curtains. That's going to be curtains. That's a Switzerland win off of that race. Very chaotic going into after the huge uphill section on lap 1. Many snipes, many hits coming out, but in the end, Switzerland capitalizing off of the shortcut lap 2 and keeping that front presence. That is going to be a confirmed Switzerland win. Great play overall from them. They had such an impactful early game. First 4 or 5 races were so strong for them. Even Brazil starting to make the comeback, it wasn't enough. Switzerland just taking the lead too far forward in their favor in the first few races.
Yeah,
so congratulations to Switzerland.
Yeah, they definitely needed more winning races and a bigger race than just +1 in order to pull that off. But good effort, though. Really good effort from Brazil to start making a comeback there. But as you said, Switzerland pulling off the victory. And
it looks like we're going to have to reopen for this last race. Unfortunate, since we already know the outcome. And with that, I believe that was Switzerland's last match to play, which gives them 3 wins, a perfect record in their group. That is a confirmed first place in their group, allowing them to move on to the group stage next week.
Yeah, good job from Switzerland just in general to be able to get the victory and get the win here so they can make it to the group stage. And we'll be hoping to see more of them throughout the group stage, and maybe possibly Switzerland doing some damage in the group stage, maybe pulling off some upsets, because they have the potential to, honestly. I definitely see that as a possibility, and I think the key factor of this match was shock, to be honest, due to the fact that both of these teams needed shock, and Brazil pulled it a lot. But I don't personally think necessarily it mattered as much as it could have, I'd say. Because, shock is very important throughout this game, and whoever was back in last for both Brazil and Switzerland, I would say Switzerland didn't put as a big of an emphasis as shock, and it surprisingly paid off for them, even though they had a couple of bad races. But yeah, definitely, if you're wanting to get into the game, you always got to keep in mind that shock is such a huge factor in any race, and just having someone back there going for it, it can really change the outcome of a race, and we saw that today between Brazil and Switzerland. So
yeah, looking like... Excuse me. Okay. Looking like Hamilton gonna sub in for this last race, but yeah, again, we already know the results of this war and of this group, at the very least. Switzerland moving on to next week's group stage. Now, I do want to comment, since we have received confirmation on how that process is going to work. So based on teams' individual record, teams will be able to choose their seeding into the group stage. So Switzerland will be able to choose the group that they will be placed into next week. And I believe it's based off of overall your records. So Switzerland being 3-0, they'll be an earlier team to participate in that process, but it's going to come down to plus minus, I think, as well, to determine that, since all groups for the play-in stage were 4 teams each. So Hong Kong probably going to be the first team to be able to pick their group.
yeah, Hong Kong was a really solid team we saw throughout the entire play-in stage, and they're definitely going to be a threat in the next part of the World Cup here. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they play personally against tougher opponents, because they had such a good record against teams in the play-in stage. I'm hoping to see how they play personally. But yeah, I don't know about the other teams getting what records they have, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, at this moment, the only completed group is Group 8, which was Hong Kong, Ecuador, Australia, Italy. So that group is decided. We'll be seeing Hong Kong and Ecuador next week, as well as Switzerland, as again, this is their third win. There is no way for Switzerland to lose out on that group stage, and Astre with the back camera spam on the lines, plus 10 on the last race to top off this war for him. Yeah, great stuff from Switzerland this war. I really liked Shock Play. Astre just had great catch-up potential. He faced a lot of early hits, but he was able to overcome them with his great item play. Not to mention his multitude of stars, especially on a particular race here, but yeah, that will conclude the war. Final score 252 to 216 plus 36. Very convincing win.
Yeah, both teams played really well, personally, but Switzerland managed to get the win there, and even the plus 11 will actually help their differential a little bit, I think. So good for Switzerland personally to get a solid last race, because the point differential is actually really important based off of what group you want to pick. So yeah, good job from Switzerland to just end it off really well.
I do also want to mention that Brazil was the top seed in this group, so you could consider any loss for Brazil an upset. Although Switzerland, again, a very formidable team, you do have to consider just how much of an effect players like Astre and Swirls have on the racetrack. But yeah, Brazil gonna need to get another win tonight. I believe they only have one match left against Nicaragua. We will be covering that match as well later on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Mario Kart Central. That's going to be a must-win for Brazil in order to move on. But yeah, before that, we'll also be having several matches casted on Endgame TV. The remaining matches in Group 9 will all be casted. Those are coming up in about half an hour. Starting off with, I believe, Germany, Salvador is the very first match in about half an hour. So be sure to check out Endgame TV at that time. But for now, that's going to be us signing off. Thanks so much to everyone for watching. Again, congratulations to Switzerland. Thanks to Ginja for casting with me. And we will see you guys in a short while here.